Hello there, kia ora. We are finally at the end of the 2023 general election cycle as all the loose ends are kind of tied up. Well, except for that one review that the Prime Minister wants to do on the Electoral Commission because he claimed they weren't fast enough, despite the fact that for well over a year they'd planned to the exact dates that they actually met and requirements and costings that they had for running the general election. But other than that, all of the other loose ends are finally tied up because over the weekend we had the results come out of the last two local body election by elections. And these were to replace people who were councillors who have gone on to become MPs. There were three of them in Parliament this year, but Jamie Arbuckle decided he wanted to collect the paycheck for both instead of triggering a by election. In Wellington, in the Pukehino Lambton General Ward, the by election was taken out by Carl Tiefenbacher. Now, Carl is self described as a centrist businessman, but this means a shift to the right for the council down there because he's replacing a Green Party candidate. And the Green Party candidate that ran against him, Geordie Rogers, he missed out by about 600 votes by the looks of it. So it sounds like it's not very much, but when the voter turnout is so incredibly low, that's quite a bit of a gap. In Hamilton, though, it's much more of an ideological mirroring of candidates. Tim McIndoe took that one out. Now, he's the former Hamilton West MP for the National Party, and he's replacing Ryan Hamilton, who went on to become the National Party MP for Hamilton East. The big difference between the two, though, is that Tim is not very likely to show up to a meeting of sovereign citizens who are issuing execution writs for his co workers and turn around and say to them, "Hey, I support you guys," like Ryan did. But this isn't about the people that won or lost the election. This is about what actually happened during the by election, because it really did follow on a trend that we've been seeing happen over a number of years when it comes to our local body politics. The turnout was terrible. For both elections, Hamilton and Wellington, the turnout was well under 25%, and it just continues a trend of falling electoral returns. Now, by elections always get less returns than the usual elections, but some of the election turnout that we saw during the 2022 local body elections, they were pretty damn abysmal as well. And here's a big problem that we've got to deal with that nobody's really looking at is how we turn this around. Because local body elections are still governed under certain rules. They can't just make things up as they go along, but are not run by an organisation like the Electoral Commission, which has the resources to do the big promotion and to organise everything in a very consistent way, and the resources to try and get more people engaged. There's a whole bunch of ideas as to how you could do that, like changing your voting system or having a specific election day to get people involved, getting better quality candidates, which is always a difficult thing to do because, well, when you hear about some of the abuse that these people get once they get on board, why would you want to put your hand up for that? So I personally am at a bit of a loss to work out what to do or what anybody could do to get voter turnout up in our local body elections. People just aren't engaged. They're quite happy to sit there and complain. Now, one of the issues that I had with both of the local body elections that were running is that from a number of the candidates, I didn't see a vision. I didn't see what they wanted for their home. And I think that's a big problem as well. A lot of local body politics is reactionary or feels reactionary. So you don't get to see what long term plans people would like to see or how they would like to see their city evolve or what they could do to make things better for the people that they live with. And that's also a really difficult thing to get around because we stick in our bubbles. We stay on our social media pages that feed us back things due to the algorithm, and we see whatever it is that we're going to see that kind of backs up our bias. I'd love to know what you think we could do to try and make voter turnout bigger and better. And don't forget, New Zealanders have always been kind of opposed to the idea of being forced into it, like the Australians. So, what could we do to make our turnout for something like our local body elections much more impressive? Now, when it comes to by elections, they're not actually over yet, technically. There's going to be a by election in Rangataiki because one of their councillors decided to step down. He didn't particularly like the job. But I will deal with that another time.